Just a quick disclaimer, this article contains some adult themes. There are mentions of castration and cannibalism to infants, and as well as mass casualties due to natural disasters. So, if that kind of stuff gets to you, maybe don't watch this. I'm just saying. Or skip to this timestamp. Otherwise, enjoy. SCP-2845. As per Section 4, Subsection 1 of the January Accord, containment of SCP-2845 is a joint effort between the Foundation, the United States National Guard, the United States State Department, the United States Department of Homeland Security, and the United States Special Task Force Blue Alpha. Authorization of outsourced containment consultants for the purposes of SCP-2845's containment upkeep is granted in perpetuity by the O5 Council, according to Operations Policy 336.87.b. Information regarding SCP-2845 and its containment is considered Tier 3, as according to the Amend Public Information Policy and overseeing Special Information Team 45. Misinformation regarding SCP-2845 and its containment is widespread and a high risk of weaponization by external governments and groups of interest. SCP-2845 is under Chatterbox Protocol, according to PIP 47.111. Site 100 has been constructed specifically for the containment of SCP-2845 to the following specifications: a central chamber containing SCP-2845 and 216 instances of SCP-2845-1, internal atmosphere consisting of 96.3% hydrogen, 3.25% helium, and 0.45% ammonia, maintained at a -100 degrees Celsius and a pressure of 2.3 bar. 6 concentric circular structures designated Ring A through Ring I. 6 circular chambers are located on each ring at 0, 60, 120, 180, and 240 and 300 degrees, with 0 degrees aligned to the geographic north. The floor of each chamber is inlaid with constructed lead hexagram. Additional facilities and the security perimeter have no ritual-specific construction requirements. The following procedures are to be carried out in succession during each conjunction of the Earth and Saturn, recurring every 378 days according to synodic period and performed no more than 6 hours before or after due conjunction. Each procedure must be carried out by 6 individuals. The location of each procedure is noted in parentheses. At the beginning of each period, containment procedures will be carried out in the next ring closest to the containment chamber, returning to Ring I upon cycle completion. Printers from ceremonial recitations for all purposes and descriptions of all varying costumes may be found in document 2845-C-EXP. Procedure 410 Cassini. 60 degrees Celsius. Containment specialists are presented with masks of joy, sadness, anger, apathy, fear, and foolishness to act out Ceremony Cassini A. Ceremony Cassini A is a fictional comedy of errors and exchange of insults between 6 individuals, culminating in foolishness outwitting the group in the game of riddles and declaring himself king. The conclusion of Ceremony Cassini A is followed by the game of dice. The winner of the game is relevant to the procedure. Procedure 420 Parinaldo, performed at 120 degrees Celsius. Performance of Host Opus 32, Movement 5 for flute, oboe, clarinet, French horn, timpani, bass drum, and the piece is accompanied by specific some-act and vocal components carried out by the players throughout the performance. Designated ceremony, Parinaldo-A, performance must be live, and recordings of the piece must have no effect. Procedure 430 Epimetheus, performed at 180 degrees. Gifts are exchanged among containment specialists. Containment of gifts is relevant to the procedure, but each gift must not exceed $4.28 USD in worth. Each gift is accompanied by a recitation of the ceremony Epimetheus A in its entirety and the scattering of grain around the containment chamber. Procedure 440 Cassiel, performed at 240 degrees. Ceremonies Cassiel-A is recited as containment specialists bind their feet with wool and consume 60 milliliters of olive oil. Then they will break apart a rock weighing at least 20 kilograms with hammers. Ceremony Cassiel-B is recited throughout. Procedure 450 Tyro, performed at 300 degrees. A Class D subject is prepared by painting a symbol arranged surrounding a dot with an arrow pointed upwards at a 90-degree point on the stomach with a platinum-based solution, and presented with a blue cloak, crown, and scepter. Class D subject is restrained in a chair, and ceremony Tyro A is recited. After recitation of the ceremony Tyro A, the D-Class subject is castrated by the use of a hand sickle and a containment specialist. Then they are to be disposed in a bowl of salt water as ceremony Tyro B is recited. Procedure 460 Omphalos, performed at 0 degrees. Ceremony Omphalos-A is to be recited before termination and roasting of an H-Class subject no more than 3 months of age. Ceremony Omphalos B is to be recited before consumption, after consumption of the child. Ceremony Omphalos C is to be recited over a bowl with small gastroliths, which are then swallowed. Vomiting is then induced, and ceremony Omphalos-D is recited, ending containment procedures. In the case of a containment breach, Site-100 nuclear device is to be detonated, followed by a lockdown of all Foundation facilities and activation of Protocol 2845-KX1, Strike Down the Moon. Ladies and gentlemen of the Ethics Committee, good morning. My name is Sage of the Scarlet Root. I have been elected to speak to you today on the containment requirements of SCP-2845. The briefing you have been provided with is correct. Containment procedure requires the ritual castration of a man and cannibalization of an infant. Unfortunately, I'm afraid there's nothing that can be done about it. Rituals such as this work through the repetition of the arbitrary criteria, rather than the adherence to underlying laws as one would find through science. The belief that meeting these criteria achieves a certain end assigns power to the ritual, we made to meaning of our own devising. However, we are not totally free to do so. The ritual needs some resonance with the subject to work, and appropriateness, hence the requirements. Some gods are only appeased with blood. I know that your organization does not approve of the term, but it's still the case. The stag is a god, and is not a mild god of earth. All the same, we have, for the time being, fooled it into thinking we have overpowered it, and that is how we seal it away. But this means that once a ritual of this sort has been set in place, there cannot be any removals or substitutions. Making revisions would require breaking containment and starting over again from the beginning. Our initial design for the ritual required upkeep every 3 days, and we could easily have trapped ourselves in that, were we not able to attach a major flaw in the binding elements before execution and reduce frequency to once a year. We weren't able to reduce it further. The I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Even with the ritual in place, if the stag is thought to escape, it would, and it would end the powerless to stop it. And we would be powerless to stop it, sorry. The entire facility would vanish in the puff of hydrogen, so let's be thankful, then, that it is not think at all. This is an old god. It does not dabble in decisions. Decisions are for creatures who may act inconsistently. A god of this strength simply isn't absolute. It may choose this, or that no more than gravity might. In building this ritual, we have shifted its being in the slightest bit, and now it is locked into a pattern of behavior. It struggles against us. We struggle against it, and we are locked together in an eternal dance so long as the ritual remains intact. If one thing goes, are we, that deadlock is broken and all is lost. We have an unstoppable force without an immovable object. The rituals here have been defined as the best course of action. There are powerful symbols there, and whether or not you or I think they are appropriate to the situation is irrelevant. I do not know why it came here, nor to what end, but I have listened to the pillars it makes of us. They are sitting mysteries close to us. They are not suffering, but they have been changed utterly. The same fate awaits us if all this fails. Thank you for your time. SCP-2845 is an extraterrestrial quadruped entity measuring 2.9 meters in height at the shoulder. The neck, generally held in an upright position, extends a further 5.5 meters, terminating in a head with humanoid facial features. SCP-2845 possesses antlers, measuring 4.8 meters across. The antlers are white with black marbling and coloration, and have not been observed to shed. SCP-2845 is covered in hair with an average length of 10 centimeters except for the face, which is hairless. SCP-2845's coloration is primarily a pastel green, with a stripe of green on the underside of the neck and belly. A ring of ice particles is suspended 15 centimeters behind SCP-2845's skull, measuring 1.7 meters in diameter, with a ring thickness of 35 centimeters. This ring is interrupted at irregular intervals by 7 spheres of metallic white hydrogen and metallic helium, each measuring 15 centimeters in diameter. The ring and spheres rotate clockwise at a speed of 1.6 RPM. The force maintaining the movement of the ring, the physical state of the spheres, and the means by which SCP-2845 is capable of supporting its head under the weight of its antlers are unknown. SCP-2845 is capable of instantaneous transmutation and reconstruction of matter. No matter is created or destroyed during this process. Transmutated matter will remain stable regardless of external conditions. Phase changes will remain at their transmuted state regardless of outside temperature or pressure. Altered atmosphere will maintain chemical consistency and not mix with unaltered atmosphere outside the area of effect. Common transmutation results may include structures of metallic hydrogen and helium. Structures do not appear to have any function or set direction, though they most commonly take organic or plant-like forms. Pools of liquid hydrogen and helium, conversion of atmosphere into a hydrogen/helium/ammonia mix. SCP-2845 will typically surround itself in a transmuted area with a radius of approximately 5 meters. And also, SCP-2845-1 instances. SCP-2845 will use its directed transmutation against attackers or obstacles. Typically, the transmutations are a column measuring 5 to 7 meters in diameter and 60 to 8 meters in height, or a horizontal cone measuring between 100 and 150 meters in height and 10 to 30 meters in width at the furthest end. However, SCP-2845 has been observed to attack single targets at distances of up to 10 kilometers. Early observation of SCP-2845 during recovery indicated that it will generally ignore non-combatants, focusing on retaliation against attackers. However, SCP-2845 was not seen to make any attempts to spare non-combatants within the area of effect of its transmutations, and later recovery accounts indicate that preemptive attacks against both military and civilian targets. SCP-2845-1 designates organisms that have been modified by SCP-2845. Instances of SCP-2845 are hexagonal columns uniformly measuring 2.4 meters in height, with rubbery yellow-green skin. SCP-2845-1 instances do not have any outward sense organs. An autopsy has shown that internal organs are likewise absent, save the brain, which now takes up the entirety of the column and contains the reconstituted mass of the other organs and some additional outside materials. It is unknown how SCP-2845-1 instances derive nutrients, or if any nutrition is required. Neuroimaging of SCP-2845 specimens has revealed that the brain is in constant state of high activity. Analysis of multiple specimens indicate patterns of call and response, so some form of remote communication between SCP-2845-1 is presumed. Motile variants of SCP-2845-1 have been reported, but have evaded capture and study. Addendum 01. An abridged timeline of SCP-2845 from its initial discovery to containment is as follows. November 27, 2011. Initial sighting of comment C-2011-W3. December 1, 2011. Comment C-2011-W3 confirmed by Mount John University Observatory. December 2, 2011. Comment C-2011-W3 is confirmed and named after the Minor Planet Center. Confirmed and named by the Minor Planet Center. December 16, 2011. Comet C-2011-W3 reaches perihelion. Solar Dynamics Observatory records images of fragment breaking off from the main body of the comet, maintaining a speed of 0.0018 c. December 17, 2011. Fragment trajectory confirmed to end collision with Earth. Estimated impact of December 21st. Thought station deterrence procedure fails to change the fragment's course. Public announcement made by the United Nations. Evacuations of the predicted affected area begins. December 21st, 2011. Fragment impacts the Pacific Ocean 124 kilometers off the West American coast. Despite evacuation attempts, estimated day 1 casualties caused by the resultant tsunami were estimated to be between 160 and 190,000. State of emergency declared by the United States. December 24th, 2011. SCP-2845 believed to reach shore. December 25th, 2011. First observation of SCP-2845 through civilian video footage. First contact specialist deployed. Foundation assets within the United States military begin direction of recovery and containment procedures. With the assistance of United Nations Special Task Force Blue Alpha, Mobile Task Forces MU-9 Alpha 3, and Esoteric Warfare Unit Squads 3, 5, and 9 and 12 are deployed. Casualties high. Foundation containment sites in the region enter lockdown. December 26 to 29, 2011. Artillery bombardment of SCP-2845 commences and continues throughout 4-day period. Contact with outside containment consultant is made. It is confirmed that SCP-2845 is moving directly towards Site 115. December 30th, 2011. SCP-2845 is unimpeded for 16 hours. December 31st, 2011. Overseer Council declares unanimous vote by a VK-class lifted veil event. Initiation of public-facing woodwork protocols. Bombardment of SCP-2845 recommences. January 1st through 14th, 2012. 2845 carves a passage through the Sierra Nevada mountains under heavy bombardment. Initial containment procedures were designed. January 14, 2012. Operation Serenos begins. January 15, 2012. SCP-2845 reaches predetermined containment area. Initial containment procedures were enacted. January 18, 2012. Containment procedures end in success. January 20th, 2012. Construction of Site 100 begins. February 3rd, 2012. Finalized containment procedures implemented. And on February 19, 2012, SCP-2845 declared contained.